Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I will explain you the topic Object Oriented Programming Language. What is Object Oriented Programming Language? Object Oriented Programming Language are the programming language which are based on the concept of object oriented programming structures. So what is object oriented programming structure? Object-oriented programming structure is a programming paradigm in which program structure is based on objects and classes. That means the program structure which are based on objects and classes are known as object-oriented programming languages. Now every now the programming paradigm where everything is represented as an object is known as truly object-oriented programming language. Now there are some semi-object oriented programming also like C++ because we can write the program without having a class, but the programming languages which does not permit us, which does not allow us to write the program without writing the class is known as truly object oriented programming. That means the programming languages in which it is impossible to write the program without writing the class is known as truly object oriented programming language. Now what is object? It is a real world entity having characteristics and behavior of its own. Like pen. Pen is an object where its characteristics can be ballpoint, its color and behavior can be it is used for writing. Now every real world entity having a state and behavior of its own can be said as an object. Every real world entity which has its state and behavior are said to be an object. Like car. Car has a state, that is it has its color, number of wheels and so on. While its behavior are it can be driven, it can be moved. And see here there is a picture of a car. So what is its state? Its state is that it is red in color, it has wheels. Now what is its behavior? It can be moved, it can be accelerated, it can be slowed down, it can be slow, it can be speed up. So all that is its behavior. Now what is class? Classes are the building blocks of object-oriented programming structure. That means without the classes we cannot have an object. So they are the blueprint for creating object. That means classes are the blueprint for creating object. Class is the entity which determines how an object will behave and what the object will contain. That is, it contains the variables which defines the state of the object and function which defines the behavior of the object. Every class has a variable and a function. That means variable defines its state and function defines its behavior. In other words, we can say that object is an instance of a class and without class there is no object. So class is the building blocks of object-oriented programming structure. Now classes are the group of objects that share common properties and relationship. An object is the instance of a class. Now we just saw the example of a car, which is however not an object, it is a class. Why? Why it is a class? Because Maruti Suzuki is the object of class car, and class car is also a subclass for car automobiles, where automobiles is a subclass of the class vehicles. So everything can be represented as an object and class in the object oriented programming structure. Now parrot is an object of class birds. So what are the programming languages which are based on the object oriented programming structure? They are C++, Java, Python and many more. So what are the basic concepts of all? Now in traditional programming languages, we had a drawback of security. Like the main problem with the traditional programming structure was the security problem, the code reusability problem. So in object-oriented programming structure, it has been resolved. Object-oriented programming structure has been came with the concept to overcome the drawbacks of conventional programming approaches. Like the general concepts of object-oriented programming structures are data abstraction, data encapsulation, modularity, inheritance, polymorphism. What is data abstraction? Data abstraction is the representing the act of representing the essential details without including the background details. Data encapsulation. It is the wrapping up of data members and member functions into a single unit called class. Modularity. Modularity means breaking down the programs into different modules. Inheritance. Inheritance is the way by which one object of one class inherits the properties and object of another class. Polymorphism. As the word says, poly means many and morphism means forms. So polymorphism means many forms. One object can have many forms. So object oriented programming structure had given us such a beautiful concepts through which we can have the security, reusability of our code. So I will discuss all about these topics in my next video. So stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.